So today on the Live Thrivingly podcast, we have a very special guest by the name of Arlene Jones, aka AJ. She is a certified fitness coach, yoga teacher, and Reiki and guided meditation coach. She received her first 200 E-RYT in 2000 at Barefoot Yoga Studio in Wichita, Kansas, and has been leading yoga and meditation workshops for over 30 years. I first met her in a yoga class she teaches at Lifetime Fitness in Mansfield, Texas. I quickly noticed there was something magnetic about her energy. On multiple accounts, I've overheard other students say, I wish I could just bottle up some of AJ's energy and take it home with me. There was equally something inspiring and healing about her optimism and enthusiasm, despite the turbulent times we are going through collectively. When you need a pick me up, AJ swoops in and illuminates the inner light within you, giving you the affirmations you need to hear to find balance, strength, and health so that you can continue to live to the fullest. She has touched the hearts of many and continues to daily. I am honored to deepen my practice under her guidance and consider her not just a friend, but rather a guru grandma. So, without further ado, welcome to the show, AJ.
I just want to go roar because that was probably you. I mean, you see me, I'm up over here. I mean, you can't see me. Well, I guess you can't see me. The audience can't see me, but I'm in tears because that's exactly what I know my mantra is, to be the guru grandma in yoga. And how started was being a fitness instructor, seeing that everyone is the same, but we're all different and we're all human and we're all want to stretch and we all want to feel. So that was probably the best intro, and I want to copy it and use it up on my bio. That's
Awesome,
awesome.
awesome. So yeah, to get started here, I would love to hear a little bit more about your backstory and what led you down the path you walk today.
Well, kind of like I was saying at the beginning, it's where the fitness it all started. When I well, let's go even back or deeper. We as humans, we tend to they have to our mind plays tricks on us. So when I was a little girl, if you want to go really deep, as a little girl, I realized growing up in a family with lots of chaos that I knew was really important that whatever that came in through my mind and my head, just be careful what I let resonate inside me. So that started when I was a kid. So when I went through the path of just going through school and moving and going through gym classes and education, I always realized it was real important that no matter what else was happening around me, it's good for me to breathe and to be calm and understand that it's important that you move the body, exercise, because I grew up in California. So exercising and just it was kind of like fitness and moving and breathing always been a part of me. Does that make sense? It's always been a part of my energy. Having a Buddhist grandma growing up was probably the biggest because when kids are crazy, she would say, everybody sit down, chill out. I was forced to like, no matter how high you got, should be able to bring it down and get centered. So I guess I asked that question. I guess when you know you're a leader of this, is with you your whole life. Does that
Yeah,
make sense? Yeah.
yeah, that's beautiful that you had that teacher and that guru in your own grandma from the start. So it's really been with you since you were very young.
Exactly. So I think that's why I think my people say you teach so different because that you can't fake something that is in you. Just and I've always kind of moving a lot. Always been to different schools my whole life. So I always had to be the new person. So I'm not embarrassed to stand up and express myself. Which kind of some people go more shy. I'm blessed with my numerology and me knowing about astrology and me being hip with also an astrologist grandmother. Thank God my charts, my making made me more of a Gemini personality. So that's my Gemini rises. So me knowing that helps too. So I think I was blessed to know spirituality and astrology. Get it? So my whole world kind of, I am a little different than the average yoga teacher or fitness coach because
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. It's something you embody, and everyone.
yeah. So I think
So,
that's why my style is probably extremely different than everyone else's. So
yeah,
that's
so
like, and that's funny because I didn't mean to get so deep on the question, but when someone asked me where to start, I got to go from the beginning, I guess.
no, absolutely.
I
That's
was
what I was
put
really looking
on.
for. Yeah.
Well, I guess, like I said, I know I was put on earth to do this.
Yes.
Like the light worker, you're a light worker. We just know,
Ab-
and you probably know since you were little.
So yeah, beautiful. How many different places have you lived? Where have all you moved around to?
Oh, you're so cute. Well. The best part was my dad. I joke about my dad's personality. My dad, he was an interesting character, but he was an entertainer and also was a businessman. So I got to live all up and down the coast of California. So growing up in California in the 60s and 70s and 80s, you're around so much, oh my gosh, beautiful people and religion. So that was pretty much, I'm from the Bay Area, San Francisco, all the way down to the beach of Malibu. I lived all through there. But then in the 80s, I got to move to Kansas. And when I got to move to Kansas, that's where I got more into, that's kind of when I got into more of the spirituality of learning that no matter where you at, because I left beautiful nature to the Midwest, which it's a culture shock, but in my mind, that's why I use the visual, your mind can keep you. So I kept that. And then from California, I was blessed to live in Colorado just from boyfriends, crazy, living with a boyfriend a couple of months, didn't work out. And then I ended up in Texas. So I got to be, I guess, the West Coast. I got to live in the Midwest, and now I'm in the South. So I've had all different areas of the, I guess, the United States. Traveled lots of places, but that's I guess, my living
Yeah,
areas right there. Yeah,
that's
thank
awesome.
you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Your
so
mind can take you anywhere, so it doesn't matter where you're at, as long as your mind can free you. I've
yeah,
learned
I
that.
love that. I love that because, I've heard things, it doesn't matter, if you get imprisoned or, you're
Exactly.
overseas somewhere where you're uncomfortable. It's you're with your energy and your soul, and
It's
you're never
which
alone. And
So true. So true. And it's funny because I even call one of my yoga classes or one of my workout the incarcerated workout. Because if you were in a jail cell, you should be able to be there and be anywhere in your mind. So I love that you said the prison, because that's true. And that's just a practice of the meditation. We always being into meditation and freeing my mind. So yes, that's so true. So yeah, I lived a couple places.
yeah, awesome.
But my mind's been everywhere.
So I know you kind of touched on this question already a little bit, but how has yoga really influenced your life?
Whoa. What's it? That's when I get yoga is because first of all, people get yoga mixed up with there is deep yoga, which is more the meditation yoga, which is the old school yoga, which has been around for years, the deep vinyasa, the old school hatha, which is awesome. Then there's the format yoga, which is where people have learned through classes and they learn the style and they stick with that. They're going to stay. All they're going to do is hatha or vinyasa or ashtanga, and they're going to get a groove. Then there's the yoga the religious yoga, which is probably just it's based on religion and meditation. So what I've done, because I couldn't really find my home in any of those yogas, how yoga is my life and how I found yoga, I was able to create my own version of the yoga. And that's the style that I do, is because when I say I use the mind, body, and spirit, that comes from my exercise years of being a fitness coach and also being a personal trainer. So how yoga has changed my life, just like I said with the meditation, it's just embodied in me throughout, just to know that my mind, body, and spirit is connected. And as long as I keep those grounded and balanced, I can exist as a human. So yoga for some people might be in those three categories I told you, or a person like me, which is kind of the new style coming in, you're finding your way with dance and groove. And so, yeah, so yoga is just my energy, my life, my love, and what it's done for me. It's made me who I am today, and it'll continue. And I want to spread it. So it's just that's such a big question because it can go on and on and on. But yoga is what you make it. Yoga can check this out. Yoga can, if you're a tennis player. So I've always said this to people too. Whatever you do that you're connecting your mind, body, and spirit, that's kind of like yoga.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, but those other three yogas wouldn't say that. See, I had to kind of I make it very loving for everybody. So yeah, yoga can be what you want it to be.
I love that. And that's something I've seen in my own practice when I first got in and not really understanding the different styles of yoga and like all this stuff. But then it really begins to, the more you show up, it begins to ripple into the rest of your life. And it's not just the practice on the mat. Like I've learned the real yoga is what you do off the mat. It's what you take outside of the class.
Dude, that is perfect. I can't wait to see you start teaching. I want to start going to your classes one day because
Every I'm cooking a meal and that's a yoga. I'm, driving down the highway and that's a yoga. It's just this embodied experience. And this connection with your physical body and your mind and your spirit, and you just feel like more in tune to the life experience than you have before.
And it's funny, and it's so funny to say that, because it's like when you're like in the life, in the twists and the turns and the ups and downs and the emotions. Like, for instance, I'll give you the perfect example. I always talk about forgiveness, which is the hardest thing to do, forgiveness. I'm working with that with a family member, which is the hardest forgiveness. And it's amazing. You don't see those family members for years and years, and you think you're fine. Okay, this is where yoga saves me every time. The family member will contact me or try to come back, and you all of a sudden your inside start, oh my goodness, you start feeling that nervous. Okay, and you can take you crazy and you can scream, or I can yoga and breathe. Remember, we're both human spirits, and they have their problems and I got my problems. We both are from hurt. We both had trauma, but now we're trying to make it right. So breathe, yoga, meditation, and then I can talk. So that's perfect example. Yoga always brings me back to like any inside trauma or chaos or driving in a car. And the best one is the road rage. I talk about this. Come on. You don't know what that person in the car is going through. Please use yoga. So that's what I'm saying. Yoga, I love that. It works in your life every day. Oh
yeah, I've talked to some other actually one that you practice with, Rita.
Love her, my sister, my yoga sister.
We were talking about this the other day, and she was saying how, when she may be influenced to react in a way she might have reacted as her younger self. And then instead, that's not, she's like, what would the yogi in me do? What, and that you just go back to that. And it's crazy how much it diffuses a situation where you might want to react and your energy gets out of line. And it's like, bring it down, like you said, and you can then have a much more heart-to-heart conversation with that individual and hope and usually move forward in a better way.
Exactly. Move forward and forgive and let go and bring love. See, yoga and love are one. So whenever I go in my yoga mind, I go into my love place, which is I go into my yoga grandma guru energy, and I can do with anything. I mean, it's kind of like my yoga superpower. I use like a yoga superpower, because not only do I want to lead and be an example, because that's what I do, it also makes me feel like I'm in control of my life. And I guess that goes with the God in me. So yoga and God and my connection. See, I know it might not be the traditional way, and I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in tradition and some rituals. Just feel and be loved and let yoga or exercise be. And so that's kind of like my whole, and it's kind of like why I'm writing a little book about it, because I think my crazy little off the world affirmations that I use are for the new generation, because we're changing, the world's changing, we're evolving. And so I ain't mad at the old people, don't get me wrong, the old yogis, rock on to y'all, but you better keep it real. These young yogis, y'all like your age, y'all are coming. So I want to connect to y'all, for y'all can be the new ones, you know what I'm saying, for the next generation, for my grandkids. Can have my, I look at me, I get all tearful, because I feel like it's my duty before I cross on to nirvana to leave seeds like you, brother, to keep the light of just not judgment, love each other, do the best you can, find your yoga, live your best life. See, I love it. Thank you for this podcast. This is how it works.
Hey,
this is how the seed gets spreaded, man. And so
I love this.
Really honor.
We'll come back to that. We'll revisit that line of thought here in a minute. I have a good question to prompt you on there. So moving on to the next. So as a fitness coach and yoga teacher, what advice do you give to those hesitant or unmotivated to start getting active or starting a practice? What common beliefs and or pitfalls do you see people struggle with in the gym or studio?
Best question ever. Okay, first of all, just like the alcoholics and the drug addicts, it's called the 12 steps. You do one day at a time. Now, with that, you have to, well, how you do that? Well, you wake up every day, you start starting it. You start with walking. Like I said, you start with maybe drinking more water. There's lots of things to be a healthy, fit yoga lifestyle, that you start with one thing at a time. You got to make your connection to God. That's why I say your pathway is different. If you don't make your connection to divine spirit bigger than you, That's probably the only, then you're probably not going to get what we're talking about. You won't probably listen to this podcast. For you to even jump into a podcast, even go to a yoga class the first way through the door means you're interested. So usually you're never going, because yoga's weird. You got to take your shoes off, you're a stranger. So exercise, going to a gym, buying a membership. So it means you want to do it. There's a linking there. But to be motivated and keep it going, that's one-on-one, one day at a time. It's like a 12-step program. And you got to put your higher power. It's got to be your theme. Otherwise, you won't, it ain't going to happen. See, that's where the AJ juice in the bottle comes in. If I could put my motivation in a bottle and everybody can drink it, that was where that comes in. I wish I could. I'm working on that, and that's why I keep trying to show more love to make people come back. But yeah, that's the best question you gave me, but it's the hardest one to answer. Self-motivation.
Yeah.
That's deep.
I think I've even heard from a perspective from, people that are in the space of fitness and all that, whether they're coaches or trainers and stuff. And even they have said that, they've struggled with motivation too. And sometimes it's not just, even your yoga teacher may not always have it, but we show up, right? We show up even when we feel like our inner resistance, our ego is saying, just skip today, or just, I don't feel like going. Get yourself there. Some of my best classes have been the days where I do not want to get on the mat. And then
let me see, that makes me cry. Yes, I find that in the yoga community. Okay, I guess to answer my question, because I've been in all different industries, I will say this. The yogis are the most faithful. The yogis are probably the most dedicated. The yogis are probably the most non-intimidated because of the whole wellness of come as you are, be free. Yes, gyms are intimidating, forbidden, bodybuilders are intimidation, no doubt. And then but being committed and being dedicated and having total love for yourself, knowing that no one's going to do this but you, which is what I say a lot. My biggest line is, no one's going to care about your body more than you do. I mean, that's what, yes. So all those come with yoga. They're not going to probably say that much in a fitness class, but in yoga, I can get to your heart. So yoga makes you get to your heart. So hopefully, yes.
Absolutely.
To that question. So there's all different angles of that. Yes.
Yeah. So wow, with over 30 years of teaching yoga, what changes have you witnessed in the societal perception of yoga in the Western world, or just alternative medicine and kind of general,
That is mainstream commercials. I love that question too. You're so cute. So I remember I was the weirdo in the corner trying to preach this stuff and yell this stuff and and no one would come. Some people come, the people that like the rich ladies, not gonna lie to you, the rich ladies, the been to California, New York, and travel, who love Gandhi. But now getting I'm a big keep it real. The black people, getting my Latinos, getting my ministry, getting the new, is because it's mainstream. And that's where social media is talked about. It's not scary. Religious kind of been taken out of it, or it's all religions are included. Yeah, that's been probably the best part. There's so many, we cannot dog social media and Facebook because it has made a world more nosy, which I talk about. But the flip side, it made things like this and people's minds opening up to any new innovative way to make your body exercise. Yes, the world's changed because we're evolving. So yeah, that's the biggest difference, because it was not cool for probably like the last 20 years. It was just like special people did yoga. They went to Bachman's hot classes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's kind of how, my prior view to yoga before I really came to it during 2020, during the COVID pandemic, with everything going on in the world and my own life, that I feel like that was a catalyst for many people to begin to explore alternatives, and especially yoga. I think that you could say you've probably seen an influx.
So I did my I need to get some new shows, but during COVID, I did 35 YouTube shows, which I go back and look at them. It's funny, I just haven't had time. I actually got a better camera to start doing more stuff, and I was shocked to see how many people have seen. I mean, I can even be at the airport. They go, "Wait a minute, you're that girl on YouTube." Now I don't have that many people just came around and doing 2020 when that happened. Yes, that was the biggest probably awakening of people feeling comfortable to stretch and go to parks and do yoga, because we were forced. That was probably the best thing about the COVID. People were forced to go inside and find themselves. And I say this, I'll continue to say this. That was the make it or break it, because if you don't learn inner love and groundness, and that was a big turning point in the yoga world, was by all means doing that COVID, to where stuck in our houses. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But as yogis, we did great. We did yoga day. We survived it. The yogis and the Gen X's, they were awesome. They survived it.
Yeah, and that's when I really found my own practice, and it was something at first that I didn't really understand, but I had read, a lot of stuff about how it helps with mental health and clarity and grounding you, and just, that's really the angle I came at it with, instead of just like the physical aspects of it and stuff. But then
See, I
obviously
love
those
that.
are there. There's the physiological aspects are all there, and it's beautiful for the development of muscles in your body in different places that you don't get with strict strength training. And
See, that's which is so funny. The mental part. We can't even see that's a whole nother area. The mental yoga. There's so many areas of mental wellness, and they use it with kids because I teach kid yoga. That's what I'm saying. Yoga hits so many components. It can go on for like 8,000 conversations, but I love what you brought up, the main thing. Mental wellness, for having self-love, to be mindful, to be still, to learn that it's okay to have feelings and deal with them. Yes, that was the one of the also great points of the mind, body, spirit, right? I guess I stay more physical because that's my version of yoga, but the some people love going to just we used to teach it at Lifetime. I kind of wish to bring it back, which it was B, which called B was this Nadra. You just sit and breathe for an hour, which I think it feels crazy to go sit in a room and breathe for an hour with strangers, but it's so healing for the mind and the
yes,
mental
and
wellness. And it's acceptable now. It's not weird. Exactly, exactly.
absolutely. And when I got into breath work too through yoga, then I realized, that's a whole nother, that's yoga pranayama. It's a whole nother little facet of yoga, and that they're all kind
Goes
of
on.
bundled in one. It was like when I first, you know, when I heard like, yoga would be great to incorporate in your routine or your morning routine, especially, it's like, well, when I go through my yoga morning routine, like 10-15 minutes of postures in the morning,
Love hearing that.
sometimes more, sometimes less, but like try to get a few in. But even if I don't feel like doing any postures, like just laying there and taking like one intentional breath,
Yes.
yoga,
Yes.
that you are doing yoga. You are showing up for yourself that day. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't make it bigger than it has to be. Just show up and do something. One breath, two breaths, and connect to that. And slowly you will see ease come into your being.
I well, I'm gonna say this to the end of time. I hate talking so much yoga. I just say, just do it. Just it's like you can't even really explain the feeling you feel. You feel so good. There's this love that comes inside you, this heat of energy, because it's real. And I think that's the thing that people are scared of, to feel that, because we've been, people are doing drugs and drinking. Everybody wants to feel, they want to take away feelings. Yoga makes us be or learn to practice to be okay with the way we feel. And that's probably the beauty of this practice. And it's okay to be that we can just, it's okay to feel that stuff and to be with yourself. And I love that you brought that up, just to be right here, because we're forced to be, to squash, 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 and it's not, it's okay. Just, the hell with it. We're going to have stuff, and that stuff is going to be over there, but we can control how it affects us. And that's where the problem is.
Absolutely. And
Take
yoga,
your power. Yoga makes you take your power back.
yoga is
Oh,
the
yoga
tool.
makes you take your power back.
It does. Yoga is our tool. It's the method for us to, no matter what happens in our day, if we start our morning with it or we end our day or midday, it's just whenever we can come to it. You could be at your chair, at your desk, at work, and close your eyes for 3 minutes and just do some nostril breathing or something, and you could completely recenter.
And you didn't even have to call it yoga. You can call it whatever you call it. It's my love for myself thing. It's my thing. It's my do thing. It's my chill thing. You can call it what you want to call it. Take the name out of it. Grounding and loving yourself for 1 minute to catch your breath is okay.
Yeah.
But of course, that's the yes, sit at your desk. Yes. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
And what I've noticed too, with just the overall, I think that because of the way that we've really grown up in the kind of the societal programming in the Western world, is that busy and that hustle mentality. And through yoga and these things, I've seen that, like, we don't have to prescribe to that. And we can find, I think, there's jobs and things like that you have to be busy all the time, but you make busy what it like, you give that meaning to you, and you can step out of that whenever you want to and learn to start being with just yourself. And
Oh,
despite,
yes, the yin and the yang. That's the yin yang. See, once you learn yin and yang, which of course I got tattooed on me,
Mhm.
because as you see me, boo boo, people see me, I can be as high up their energy, but I have no problem with all that high energy to bring it all and actually coming back to my breath, like I just did right now. Oh, it's just safe space. Just come back, just right now, just people in the audience, just come to your breath. Inhale, push your tummy out. And then you exhale and pull your tummy in. I know you feel it. You gotta feel it. That's you. And so that's the one thing that I've done that with strangers. I'm working at the airport 2 days a week. I've done it with people, pilots. I'm like, come on, grab someone's hands. It's like, come on, let's breathe together. And that's me just showing them. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I feel so good. Something that simple. Yes,
yeah,
you're right on that one.
yeah, and I love that. Like when I take off on a flight or something, I don't really get flight anxiety, but for those that do, try some breath work. It's amazing.
Yes, exactly. I guess I'm gonna notice the airport shaman, dude, because I walk around and get love. Oh,
There.
what are the different hats I put on? Because
Uh,
it's we're here to help each other out. We're humans helping humans is all we do. So
I love
that's
that.
too
The
cool.
airport shaman.
The airport shaman, without a doubt. It's
Um,
fun.
so yeah, you stand out to me as someone who speaks their truth regardless of what others think of you. What does speaking your truth mean to you, and how did you develop the courage to do this?
Let me tell you, you don't. Okay, you lose friends when you speak the truth. You lose family members when you speak the truth. I haven't always been this way. I lived in as being the birth order. I had older siblings and come from a very lively family from California. I said I always didn't do that at the beginning, but then when I realized if I didn't, I'll never be heard. So that kind of goes back to that spirit. I knew that they were kind of loud and extreme and just knew I had a voice and just use it when it was needed. So through that, when I got older and realized that if you don't speak your voice and speak your truth, you'll get taken advantage of. People will walk over you because I have that in my blood, my personality. So then when I got older, where I am today, I realized that probably in my 20s, 30s, and 40s, um, I still listened to what society told me what to do, even though in the back of my head, I knew I had to find my truth. So when I was 32, actually 20s and 30s, 32 is when I found my truth. Then I had to take a sacrifice, a big old sacrifice, which means went through a divorce because most people get divorced because of money, which or kids or fighting. Or let me tell you what we got. I got divorced. I'm keeping it real. We were on two different spiritual levels. Cool dude, love him now to the day he died, but our spirits were totally different. I was spiritualist. He was I don't want Jehovah Witness, the kind of different religion, not distant religion, but they have more rules. We couldn't do it when the kids came. So that's when I got my truth came. I realized speaking my truth, we were honest in the divorce, probably in my 30s and 40s. And then since then, I've been a filter of truth. Now I can't go back in the box. But you do live a lonelier life. You have to stay very prayer and grounded to who you are when you speak the truth. Your truth only sets you free. And you know that love and honesty is a hard life to live, but when you're given this journey, you got to be a truth giver. So yeah, we live a little different. It's not the same. It's a different life because most people lie. Lying is easy. People want BS. It's not in our blood to do that. So it's a lonelier life, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Is that kind of? I mean, I just want to be honest with that answer. I don't want
No,
to
yeah,
sugarcoat it. It's not. You have more friends when you lie. You have more stuff when you lie. You don't have as much stuff, but that's materialism. I don't care about stuff.
yeah, I
I
love
just
that.
want
And
to move
you saying you really, found that inner truth when you ended up divorcing with your husband and things like that. And, sometimes it's through those certain
Use
situations
it. Yeah.
that seem like loss and, can really be extremely testing times for us as an individual soul. But then that is the rebirth and awakening for the individual. And
Yeah.
I think what that gives you is it gives you the strength and really the courage to just speak your truth because you want to feel that and bring that, that is who you are deeply. And so to
Yes.
repress that is only going to cause more suffering for you, and rather than the phoenix rising from the ashes.
Yeah, I'm just, yeah, I'm that, and I'll preface that, but I'll keep busting through. I'll go through the truth, because when you know the light worker, where we're, I know where I'm going to end. So when you know where you're going to end, I got to go to truth all the way there. So that's not, what do you mean by that? That's what it means. So living truthful, I take what I get because I know I'm going to lift. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I lying ain't in my blood, it ain't gonna go down, So yeah, so I love that question, but also it's deep, because the truth hurts. That's all I'm saying. Truth don't feel good.
Yeah.
But it's the only way it'll set you free. See, it's the weirdest little twist. So that's one of my mantras, without a doubt.
Yes, I saw recently a post on LinkedIn, and it said like this book about the 5 regrets of dying, and one of them,
Yes.
the first one was like, I wish I would have had the courage to live a life true to myself. And
Right?
I have
Right.
been,
It's always, thank you. That's probably why I live my way too. I'm obsessed with documentaries about near-death experiences. I'm obsessed with documentaries about people that have seen the light, or have had those type of regrets, and I read those kind of books. And I'm not gonna do none of those, because yeah, I listen to the wise people who've been above me, who have done this. That helps. Very big, smart truth we don't do. We don't really listen to the wise ones that we know that have those experiences.
yeah. And when I really thought about that, it's kind of a thought to meditate on and think about, because, what is your truth, and what really fuels you with life and life force energy. And, if that is a seed within you that is kind of calling, it's like, by all means, discover what that is, right? Like
Did you just
call it that.
imagine if you knew? I mean, just imagine that you went to your maker, the last moment, and you have, like, before the maker. Just say that, I guess people call it purgatory. That time in between, and that was the question. If you could go back and you could have lived your truth, and what the hell? You don't want to live that lie. I mean, there's no, I don't see. I know sometimes you have to, like, don't tell all your secrets. There's a difference in keeping secrets and living your truth. Living your truth is being integrity, having integrity who you are, have compassionate understandings of your groundness, and how it means to have that human connection. That's what I think living the truth is. You know, everyone's truth is different, but I think we as humans, we know what we're talking about secrets and truth. There's a difference, because I don't think you need to tell your business. There's a little difference, but because sometimes that gets mixed up, your truths, and so yeah, I hear what you're saying. Spiritual wise, especially spiritual wise, you got to be truthful spiritual wise. That's one you can't fake, because I couldn't. So that was my marriage breakup. But I did not like his religion. It just it was best for us to just spirit this way. So yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, most simply, I think when it's like, when you really understand your truth and you can bring light to that, it gives you space to honor others' truth.
Yes, that's
And
what I was trying. That's exactly
you're
what I was trying.
walking your
Yes,
path, and I'm walking mine, and you can honor each other for that. And
that's it. That's it. We just humans journeys. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Cool, cool. Yes, yeah.
awesome. This is great stuff. Let's move on.
All right.
So with the onset of overwhelming global and societal challenges, how do you see these events playing out on a collective and personal level? And do you perhaps have any practical advice for navigating these tricky times and using them as a catalyst for growth rather than destruction?
Well, see, right now it's we have lots of tools. I think if people would just take advantage of all the tools we have, there's apps on your phone. Come on, there's, like, we have this venue here. Um, I think there's so many communities, there's so many groups, there's so many Facebook stuff, there's so much stuff. I think you have to live almost in a box if you don't have space, or if you don't have opportunity to get things. So I think right now it's a journey, and it's an evolving journey. And I think it's never going to be, there's not going to be one set way. I think it's just going to be like back in the old days, you just kind of venture out. A pioneer is going to be pioneer people coming in, as they're going to be the next generation, like you coming into it. And hopefully we plant strong enough, hard enough seeds to where kids are interested in self-love and learning about being a better quality person, being the best you can be to make the world a better place. To say it again, just be the best you can be to make the world a better place. I think all that's just going to have to evolve. I don't think there's no, I love that question, but that's another one. It's like, it's going to just be the truth, what's happening in the schools, things. I think the new teachers are a little more mindful. I think it's going to be like a generational thing that's going to happen. Right now, these podcasts, stuff like this, is going to be the only way, because we know the world's changing. And so when the world changes, we all have to do our best we can to do all the different opportunities, different venues we have to be a part of the change. Otherwise, you're living in a box, because you have to be part of the change. You got to be the change to be a part of the change. So I think that's step one. Take advantage of the tools.
Yeah, I love that. Take advantage of the tools at your disposal and realize that like the changes we're going through are inevitable. And I think the way that you say it too is so simply, because that's how it should be. It should just be simple. We don't necessarily, I think myself included, sometimes get stuck in the mind and like thinking through like where this is going or that, or like how do we fix that. But that's just that part of the mind and the intellect that if we let that ruminate on these things, it doesn't allow us to take action. And
there you go.
Going back to the simplicity of using the tools at your disposal, finding community, using the apps, and finding a practice, finding something to point your energy toward,
You have to.
a hobby or something other than just sitting there consuming the news every day or this or that and ruminating on these things. Find something to move your energy toward and trust and practice and develop. And I think that is a great way to help get through these overwhelming and kind of challenging times.
Because like I said, we're dealing with the younger generation. See, once again, we're in a new time now. So you guys, I mean people that were born in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, oh my gosh, y'all got everything. You guys saw what didn't work. So that's why, and that's kind of reflects, I've said a few times, only because you get to see with kids, that little side job I have 2 days a week. And I talk to kids, I ask them questions, I'm with them for like an hour, 2 hours, and they got it. Those young kids, they know there's opportunities, they know there's tools, they know those different jobs, they know they have to take advantage, they know they have to be who they got to be, they know they got to express themselves, express their pronouns, otherwise they won't be heard. So I tell old people, you better get on board, because I'm gonna tell you, these young kids, they are with it. I ask every young kid this: do you ask your parents questions or do you Google it? They go, no, baby, we Google it. If our parents say something crazy, if our parents say something racist, if our parents say something against Black people or gay people, or we Google it and we go, no, mama, that ain't right. I start crying. So I'm not really worried about the future, because I know these young kids, they got it going on. All colors, check it out, from all over the world. So I know a new day is coming, because I get to see it and I get to hear it. So yeah, these young kids, you can't trick. I think I said this in class this week. You can't BS these new kids that their parents said something wrong, or their teacher said something wrong, or something authority. It sound like it's not humane, or it's hurting animals. They'd be like, get their phone, boo, boo, boo. They'll figure it out. So it's kind of, you better be, they can see through the BS. You better be real. You better be clear.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think another thing you said is just kind of the being mindful and aware. And I think, like you said, there's more teachers coming in like that. There's more people around. And I think, whether it's just a leader in the workplace or a leader in your community or this or that, awareness, being mindful. And you only do that really through understanding yourself too. And like, who you are and where we're going in the world, and then making space for the people around you. And then, if you are in that position as a teacher, a leader, a mentor, to be able to, hold space for others and to help guide them through these times too. And, because I think sometimes, like, I think we all are our own leaders and a leader of our communities and the people around us, even if we don't think so. Like a simple smile, I feel like could lead someone that day. Like, it can really speak to someone. It's a laugh, it's a conversation, it's a body language that you bring that is what's helping us through these times. That's what's helping change
little things. And that's nothing we don't. I think sometimes the media doesn't show because the media is all about negativity. I see so many acts of love and kindness every day throughout the city, throughout the day, at our gym, at other places. People open the door, people paying for the person's food behind them. We're doing random acts of kindness all the time. They're just not getting no airtime. So there is a bunch, I call us the soldiers. There's a bunch of us light workers and a bunch of us angels and a bunch of us in deities. And we out there, we're holding down the world. We know there's crazy in this politics and there's evil going on, and that's cool. We're gonna let it affect us. We're gonna keep on grooving that love. We're gonna keep on doing those smiles and high fiving and paying the extra dollar because we know working in the universe. So that's why I think that's what keeps it balanced because the angels are still rocking, and as light workers, we got this. And the empaths and the spiritual workers, we don't need all the stuff. We're dealing with souls. We deal with souls. We don't need all the notoriety. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's going on the underground.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you're saying too, looking at the things that are going well in the world, I think there
Yes.
is that, you can fall into a toxic positivity and optimism, which I've been when I was a little bit younger, maybe like to avoid some of the negative and the evil going on. I think you need to see both polarities, both the yin and the yang, but you don't live in one necessarily like wholeheartedly, like see them both, but utilize what you're seeing for
Yes.
activation of like further action toward truth. Like, spending the extra dollar, like you're saying, giving the smile, the high five, the showing up with your energy field. And also when I look at things going on in the world that are positive, like I heard recently, like there was, over 100 something like percent increase in the Nepalese tiger population recently. And like little news like that, like
That makes me say so. And all in the ocean, all the sharks coming back and all the coral reefs coming back. Stop it. Yes, yes, yes. I love hearing that. So now you're making me cry again.
that
Universe is coming around.
there's that guy that is doing the ocean cleanup, and he's creating
Yes.
this technology that can clean up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. I mean,
Yes.
guys, there is hope. There is
Dude, I'm saying the underground soldiers, you, me, us light workers. We're the underground soldiers. We're doing all this stuff, and we're gonna keep doing it. We're not gonna let the evil of whatever you want to call it. That's the hierarchy. We're not gonna let that take over. We let them do what they gotta do, but we're gonna keep souls and spirits and Mother Nature rolling, and that's what we're doing. I work as Mother Earth people. That's why I think we are more joyful because we know our work is harder and work and more needed, and our work goes beyond. It's like we're doing deeper. It's galaxies, and so when you work, yeah, and that's probably I guess I joke a lot, but when I love the word guru, not because I'm trying to think I'm hot or I'm all that, but I know I work for divine spirit, so I'm gonna keep hope alive and spread love and high five and even and forgive my haters, and that's our calling's bigger, so I'm not scared of that. So it's a fun journey, and I love that and it's okay now because of social media. It's mainstream to be this. I love that. You just got to pick out the real ones from the fake ones. That's probably the hardest part. A lot of
absolutely
people are talking it, but you got to walk it and talk it. That's the
practice what you preach.
practice like a mug. I'm all about practicing what I preach because if you don't, it's not authentic, and that's the difference. So that's so cool.
Yeah, I love that. And I guess, we kind of hit on it, but it parlays into my next question is having spent decades in the energetic space, what kind of trajectory do you see for humanity currently? Do you have a vision of what the world may look like 20, 30 years from now?
I love that. This is a really good one because I get I see hope. I see good things. I see it's going through a couple of years not good. I see 8 years, 8 to 10, something like that. We're gonna go through a big change. But I think ultimately with the new generation, you guys, the Gen X, Ys, and Zs, I love you guys. I think they're gonna be the rise. I think it's gonna be beautiful. I think it's gonna be technology smart. I think it's gonna be all sectors of love and understanding and education. I think it's gonna be awesome. I won't be here, of course, it'd be nice, but I think cool. I'm not nervous about the future at all. I think all the scary stuff is just fear. I think fear is taking way over. I still think love and peace and harmony is going to end in the wind. So I'm a real optimistic. I want fantasies. I want sparkles. I want I want nirvana. I feel nirvana. I have hope for you. I believe in the next generation. So I'm real optimistic.
Yes, yes. I love that. And that,
And so I'm excited for my grandkids. I'm ready for them.
yes, and what you said about kind of the playing out of the next 8 to 10 years. It may be, it in my
It's
eyes,
gonna be
sticky. It's rough.
it's
There's
gonna be tough. We're going through some
stuff going on.
okay. Back we said earlier, a lot of freaking truth.
Yeah.
Okay, we've had so many lies in the world, but since COVID, because the kids got smart, y'all found out the truth. They're trying to take stuff out of books. Come on, boo boo. They're trying to take truth, our history out of books. I get emotional. So those truth materials happen. All the truths are taken out of the history books. You know what those kids are gonna do? They're gonna go find the real truth. So it's kind of cool actually. That way they can find it the right. So when all the truth comes through, that's gonna make a lot of chaos about 8 to 10 years. Because let me tell you, I hate being racist, but I'm mixed. You got to remember, like my family, we have every color. Like we have black, Mexican, white, gay. That's going to be more people. That's the future. Sorry. So when they come, Latino, Asian, Buddhist, Christian, they all marrying each other. So that's coming more. See that because the younger people don't have much hate. There's love, educated. So it's going to be crazy, but then it's gonna get better. I'm excited for my grandkids' futures because they all mix colors and everything. That's the future.
Yeah.
Mixing is the future.
Yeah, the diversity, that cultural
Diversity, all that ain't going away. See, that ain't going away. That's gonna be more trend. The transgenders, all that. That's the future. You're not gonna evolve. We're gonna evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Evolving's inevitable. So with evolving, it comes liberation. Get it?
And like goes back to what we said earlier, living your truth and walking your path and not judging others, and
that's gonna be the future.
We're gonna all mix together, and it's gonna create this beautiful new
mixture.
And there's
that's my future.
The reemergence of like this really ancient ancestral knowledge pairing with modern sciences and technology, I believe is really going to create a new paradigm for individuals to live in, because, and like you said, the kids are going to seek the truth,
yes,
taken out of the books or not. And the more people that are out there teaching about these things and helping people learn, like that, I think that the forward trajectory is inevitable.
Yes. So I think all the lies, all the boundaries being broken because we have all these venues to educate ourselves and educate our kids. So now everybody crazy. Right now we're all mad. Troops are coming out. This is the worst. It's going to take a couple cycles, probably 4 to 7, usually 4 to 7. But then everything's out. Once everything's out in the open, it's just acceptance and getting along and dealing with the universe. So I do like those sci-fi movies. I see that beautiful paradise at the end. It's inevitable as we evolve as humans, as we transcend and evolve. I guess I'm sad about that part. I won't be here for that because I feel like I'm like the founders of that. I'm making grandbabies and great grandbabies to be there, but I'm going to be in them through my love and the universe and in their blood. So
absolutely,
I will be there.
You will be.
I'll be this goddess statue. I mean, there's Granny AJ back in the 2000s. That'll be me.
You'll definitely be watching over the future of humanity and sending us
and love. Just sending love. Yes, that's love. Yeah, when you're Kundalini. See, I was trained through Kundalini yoga, and that's why I didn't want to go big out. Because like right now, every yoga teacher has their philosophies. Kundalini would be my one, which is based on love and breathing and centeredness in the tummy. And so that's what I love yoga teacher. I'm based on love. So I'll be love and movement. So that's awesome. I love this. This is so cool. I'm so excited for you. I'm excited for your yoga journey, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, so to kind of cap off the show, I like to ask, when you hear the words live thrivingly, what comes to mind?
Now, moment, being present, You're gonna live thrively. You're gonna be right here. You're gonna smell the roses, and you're gonna be here. You're gonna listen to conversations. You're gonna taste your food. Live thrively means you're just present and you're here because the past is gone and the future's not here. So thriving means present.
Love that. Love that. Very simple and very, very present. Yeah.
And right now, I'm thriving right here, talking to you. I'm living, loving, thriving right now with you, my brother. Love you.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
excited for
you so
you.
much. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective today, AJ. Um, I'm gonna kind of give the audience some ways to follow along with you. So, Arlene Jones, she's on Facebook, hashtag AJ Namaste Yoga, hashtag AJ Namaste J, and on YouTube, AJ Namaste. And I'll provide the links in this description as well. Any last words you'd like to add, Arlene?
You know what? Live your best life, my brothers and sisters. Shine your energy. Never give up because you are worth it. That's it. AJ Namaste. That's me.